Hi, I'm Christina Scott, and I'm with Learn to Earn Dayton. I want to welcome you to the Undesign the Redline exhibit. Undesign the Redline is a history lesson. It will raise awareness about the impacts that redlining have had in Dayton, Ohio, and I hope that you will learn something as you're visiting the redlining exhibit. It's important that this is a first step, but it can't be our last step if we are going to remove the impacts of redlining from our community. Redlining is a term that came from a New Deal era to promote home ownership for white families. In the early 1930s, the Home Ownership Loan Corporation created redlining maps, and the maps show different colors of cities and split cities across the United States into different zones or colors. And so the most attractive property was in green, and the most risky property was in red. And so that's where the term redlining came from. The federal government wouldn't back mortgages for them. Insurance companies wouldn't insure property there. And so then it really became impossible to get a mortgage to buy a home. Today, we think that so much of the segregation that we see in our community is based on individual choice or geography, or it's based in fact and not in law. But what the redlining maps show us and give us a map to understand is that it really is rooted in state, federal, and local policy and laws. If you look at the exhibit, one of the things it points out is that when folks went out, the surveyors went out to make maps in communities across the United States, the manuals that the federal government created said to indicate where there was hazardous infiltration because there were black families living there or there was a foreign-born population. And so it was there in black and white for the surveyors, for the mortgage lenders, for the insurance companies, for real estate agents to see. And that was past information that was passed on to home buyers during the process of buying homes. And I think you'll see some of the interviews throughout this exhibit that really demonstrate how explicit it was, how hurtful it was for black families who are moving into Dayton and trying to find a place to live, and how they were excluded from some communities merely because of the color of their skin. And so through the redlining maps, through the redlining exhibit, I hope it will give us some shared language to see what the barriers are to prosperity and to help equip us to make changes to break down those barriers, because it does impact our health, our education, our income, our household wealth, our economic opportunities, both for individuals and for our community as a whole. And it's only by really understanding why we have and have-nots in this community that we can build a community of haves where every individual has the opportunities, the knowledge, the resources to be able to have that self-determination to have a career, a life, a family, and a home that's right for them. It's not enough to just understand redlining. We need to take action, because Dayton, Ohio can really be a center of removing the red line from our local community.